What's up, gang? Time for your daily news report. Well, mostly daily news report.
Mostly daily.
How is everybody out there getting through this? Oh my gosh, this is crazy town banana pants.
Day 21
Whew.
of self-isolation. And since that time, Russell's had to make, 2, maybe 3 trips to the store. Like, we're trying to get enough, just depending on resources to last. But, we can't always do that, so.
And, that's a big problem. We're going to talk. We got so much to get into today. We've got Andrew's article. We've got Are We on the Brink of Collapse? We've got Newsweek talking about some stuff. I mean, we got a whole lot to get into, but I want to get back to the point that you were talking about. The broke folk vote is, they struggle, number one, having the necessary resources to stock up on food. So a lot of times they'll do what we do. We'll go to the store and get what we can, and then when it runs out, we know we got to go right back to the store.
Yeah. Means exposing yourself again. I mean, when Russell went yesterday, tell him about your experience at the grocery store yesterday.
Oh my gosh, it was crazy. I mean, sections just wiped out, wrecked, nothing there. And, I went with a face shield and my math hat on. I was trying to minimize exposure. And it was just, people giving each other a wide berth. But then there were people who were just like, it's almost like they were oblivious. I'm sitting here at the gas station, and I sit there for a second, and I'm watching these people, and one right after the other is grabbing the door handles. They're not using their shirt. They're not using nothing.
No gloves. They don't wash or sanitize after they touch a doorknob that tons of other people have touched. Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's one thing to be the broke folk vote, but it's another thing to be fucking stupid. Stop being stupid. If y'all watched my sisters, and we had a Broke Folk Vote podcast with my sister Victoria, who is actually in the chat, I just saw, and she's on the front line, working with dementia patients every day. And if you just listen to her plea for people to do the right thing, because she is under this constant strain, working 6 days a week, 10-hour shifts, or 12-hour shifts with no break, not getting to see her family, trying to take care of these people. And she's telling me that people are just like acting like it's no big thing there where she lives. But we're not only putting each other, man, we're putting all of our, oh my gosh, y'all. But we're not only putting each other.
There's an echo.
We've got to be smarter about the way that we're doing things. Man, we can't keep putting our people at risk like this. The thing about economies, Trump wants to talk about the economy. But the fact of the matter is, at no time in history, after something like this has happened, has the economy recovered until the cases have dropped, until they've been done away with, for all intents and purposes. So we can talk about getting the economy open all we want to, and I'm still hearing people talk about, how this is just a, why are we doing, I saw Zoltan Isman put out yesterday, and he was like, this is a serious question. Yes, we're going to lose X amount of people.
Mm-hmm.
But is it worth it because of the state of the economy and everything? But if we look at history as our go-to, the economy is not going to recover until the people recover. Because guess what?
Right.
We are the economy. We are the working class.
So if you have up to 6 million people dying, that's not everybody getting sick, but if you have up to 6 million people dying because we're not taking these precautions that we're trying to take, then you have a bunch of people that are not being able to get back to work because you have a ton of people sick. If we don't do any of these precautions, at least 70% of the population would get sick and be out of work. So it's the same thing. So we might as well have a lot less people die and shut it down.
Save the people, y'all. Oh my gosh.
I just don't believe, and I just don't believe it's that hard. When you go out to the store or whatever, wear something over your face if you can. Wear gloves. You better be washing and sanitizing. And when you bring your groceries home, like we have a sanitizing station now out on the porch, and it's where we'll put everything and Lysol it and wipe it down, and then bring it into the house.
It's ridiculous because I feel like I'm microdosing Lysol. And it's not fun. Every time I eat, I feel like I'm microdosing Lysol.
You gotta do what you gotta do because these packages could be infected. Somebody could have just
listen. I'm looking at the people who work at Walmart yesterday, and they're like coughing and stuff, and they're putting packages on the shelf. They're not wearing any kind of protective anything. They're not. Oh my gosh. It's, you know, and then I hear these companies talking about how they're crowing about how we're going to give our workers hazard pay. We're gonna give them a $2 an hour raise. When you're making $8.25 and you get a raise to $10.25 and you're risking your life every day, are you fucking kidding me? You want to call that a hero's bonus? Get the hell out of here. I'm not risking my life for $2 an hour more. And there's going to be a lot of people who start adopting that mentality.
When they start seeing people dying from it, people they know and stuff, they're going to be like, why am I still going to the grocery store for $10 an hour? Like, you're going to have to pay me a lot more if you want me to risk my life and my family's lives. And that's the thing. If we don't have everything shut down, the people that work at the stores, the people that work at the restaurants, the people that are nurses and doctors, nursing homes, all of those people will be out of work. And when they're out of work because they're sick,
what's going to happen?
That's way worse than what we have happening now.
Oh my gosh. You're talking, at that point in time, you're talking about the verge of societal collapse.
Yeah.
Literally. Because if people can't take care of themselves, and there's no doctors, there's no nurses, like people are still getting sick. The grocery stores it's only going to get worse. You think it's wrecked now. There's not going to be anything left on the shelves.
What, buddy?
And I don't want to be an alarmist, but you also got to look at the state of things right now. Gun sales are going through the roof. You want to know why they're going through the roof? Because people are getting scared and people will protect their shit. So, I mean, you've got to be preparing. You've got to prepare for the worst and hope for the best. That's just how it's got to be, y'all. And I know it sucks, but you look at Amazon. You know, Amazon is firing their workers for trying to speak out about not having the right protective gear. So if your grocery stores are out and Amazon is out, because now the people at Amazon are starting to get sick, and they're spreading it to everybody that they pack up the stuff to. This has the potential to be really, really scary, y'all. And I don't want it to get to that point, man. And I'm sitting here and I'm looking at our Congress people who are now on vacation. You know, something's got to give. Because the American people, most of us, the majority of us out there are the broke folk vote. And that being the case, we were living paycheck to paycheck to start with. Now you've taken away my paycheck. Now I don't have any money coming in. I've got to feed my family. My landlord still wants his money. Like, how are we going to recover from this? The only way is what Andrew talks about, a universal basic income. Mm-hmm. It has to happen.
And they've been saying, like the experts, that they can tell by the numbers and by the curve that people are not following the social distancing and stay-at-home orders like they're supposed to. And you see that here in this small town of Vermont, going out and seeing how many people are out and how many people are not taking any precautions.
Watch our stay-at-home video that we put out a few days ago.
Yeah.
You can see the number of cars driving up and down the road. It's like...
And these aren't people just going for a drive, because I wouldn't believe that this many people are just going for a drive at all times of the day. Or doing essential. When they say you only need to leave if it's vitally important, that means either you need food or medicine or a doctor. That's it. You shouldn't be having birthday parties. You shouldn't be visiting with friends. You should be doing none of that. It's time to actually change the way you do things. And another thing, when this is all over, and it's not going to be over if people don't start staying home, but when it is all over, it's not going to go back to the way it was. And we don't want it to go back to the way it was.
No, you because right now
everything's going to be different.
We're standing at a crossroads in history. Like literally, we are standing at a crossroads. And we have the opportunity to make things way better for everyone if we do the right thing. And we are the voices for that change. We can make that difference, and we can change things. We can change the way we do things because we're stuck in a position where we have to change. Number one.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way without absolute societal collapse that they cannot institute a UBI. It has to happen.
Mm-hmm.
It's the only way to avoid societal collapse. I believe that. Because I know what it's like to be hungry. And people are going to do what they have to do to get food. For sure.
Yep.
I love my family. What would you do for your family?
You have no money. There's no food in the grocery store. What are you going to do? You're going to need to feed your family, so.
3,000, according to, I believe it was the, I want to say it was the New York Times.
Mm-hmm.
But they were reported a 3,000% jump in jobless claims. 3,000%.
That's huge.
Man, you gonna talk about Great Depression numbers?
That's where we're at right now. We're getting into it. The only way to prevent a full-on depression is, like we were saying, UBI. And I don't know how so many people cannot see it, and it already be a thing. You know, it baffles me. It should be a thing.
I heard a one of the senators was talking about how we just need to wait until this $1,400 or $1,200 stimulus gets in, and let's see how that does.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Let's see how this does first. Let's see if it works before we even try to help.
That's
anymore.
not enough to cover hardly any of my bills. That's crazy. If you let that happen, I promise you, Mr. Congressman, Senator, whoever the hell you were.
He's the GOP, like the head.
The people
GOP.
will be at your doorstep with pitchforks.
Literal pitchforks.
We're going old school.
We're not going anywhere with pitchforks. We're self-isolating. Like, literally,
Yeah.
we started this before the stay-at-home orders were in place because we saw what was coming. And honestly, I mean, we're safe, we're fine, we're not sick, but honestly, we should have started a lot earlier. Like, we were still going and hanging out with, like, the Yang Gang and stuff back after the first case in the U.S., which, at that time, we're still thinking it's not really a big deal. It was being downplayed by Trump, and they're saying, you know, we'll keep it contained. You know, there's only a couple people sick in Washington. It's all going to be fine. And in my head, I'm thinking, and me being a little bit of a germaphobe anyways, I'm still thinking everything's fine. Everything's fine. And then, I don't know, one day we just decided we're not leaving the house anymore. We're like, it's too serious. We can't be out there.
Oh my gosh.
So we're doing our part, and we're just two people, but...
You know, I tried to put myself in my sister's shoes yesterday. Being at a nursing facility and, you know, a dementia care facility. And she's trying to keep all these lives together. And these people, you know, if you've ever been around anybody with dementia, they forget. And their only tethers to reality are those outside sources and those routines that they're so used to, and being able to see their family members. And she's witnessing these people daily. Excuse me. Who are forgetting their family. I can't imagine. Well, you know what? I can. Because my mom has it. And she's dealing with everyone's family. Not just hers.
And you know, that would be really tough, because you know you're also exposing yourself by going out, and you may possibly be exposing these people. But if you're not working, who's going to care for these people? So it's a really tough situation there, because I don't even know what I would do in that situation. You know, I don't know. Like we used to work at a restaurant, right? Now, if we were still working in a restaurant when this happened, I feel like I'd be, and it's just a restaurant, not a nursing home, not a hospital, but I feel like I'd just walk out. I'd be like, I am not coming back to work. I don't care. I'm not exposing myself, my kid, my family. I'm not exposing these people to this illness. And I feel like I wouldn't come back. And then if everybody did that, they would have to close down the Olive Garden, and people wouldn't be able to get takeout. Which some people need that. Some people don't have a clue how to cook, or they can't find food in grocery stores, so they need the restaurants, the takeout, so they can eat. And I don't know. I don't know if I could be one of the people who be like, well, I'm helping society. I'm going to help people get their food. I'm going to feed people. I feel
because ultimately the first command of life is to survive, right? That's what we spend our entire lives trying to do, is survive. And the greatest survival skill that we have is self-preservation. We will preserve ourselves and our families and those closest to us. And when you have people who are selflessly sacrificing their time and their energy and you want to talk about heroes? Those are motherfucking heroes, y'all. My gracious.
Especially being the doctors and nurses right there, being right around the sick people, not having the proper protective equipment, and thinking, you know, something like this would never happen in a first world country where you should have something to protect yourself and ways to get rid of viruses and not expose yourself. And the truth is, we don't. Like, what have we been doing all these hundreds of, I don't know, all these centuries we've been developing this country?
You see how, you know, like, quickly everything that you have as a country, how fast it can dissolve in the face of a greater threat.
And that's just something Andrew Yang was talking about today. He was like, you know, I was trying to warn everyone about how automation is going to displace workers, and we need to get UBI in place before then. He was like, I never could have guessed that we'd have a pandemic that could do it even quicker, you know. And then, of course, he talked about how automation is also accelerating in the midst of all of this because robots don't get sick. So, like,
and you know,
we could have been more prepared for this.
That brings us to the ugly, you know, some of the ugly things that this is bringing out. And, you know, one of those is like the rise in alcoholism and
drug use. Domestic violence, child abuse.
It's because people, I don't know, every situation is different, you know, but people are seeing their lives literally just being taken away from them. And it's making them snap. It's making them...
And this also shows what kind of people we truly are. Because when you have someone that's now punching their kids in the face because they're tired of being home with them, then they were always that horrible person to begin with. And now it's just coming out. So I don't know. I think it helps people see who they really are, because you can't do something like that and be a good person. I'm sorry. That's my thoughts, because I love kids and I can't stand kids to be hurt in any way. So if someone's hurting a kid, they need to be thrown into the depths of something somewhere. I can't stand it.
Now,
I can't.
Now I'm usually the rowdy one on this channel. My mama's getting a little rowdy over here. She is a very loving person, and you know, kids, listen, the kids are our future. If we're not doing this for them, what the hell are we doing it for? You know, you were talking about how situations like this really shows the character.
We have a lot of messed up people in this country.
I'm thinking that this pandemic really shows the character of those fucktards we got in Washington.
That too.
Are you kidding me? How can our government, they are so inept at doing anything of value for anybody except their corporate overlords, that it's so disgusting. There has to be something. Oh, I'm starting to get fired up. There may be a rant coming, so I'm gonna move on.
I actually wanted to say something about how, Andrew Yang is still doing what he can with Humanity Forward. We just got an email a minute ago about, it was a really long email talking about everything that's going on. And
Mommy, I was a baby and I just ate glass.
Whoa.
Oh no, don't do that, baby.
They talking about wanting an Elisa rant now. So, and shout outs to all my family who was in the chat. I noticed that there was a lot of family in the chat today. So thank you very much.
Y'all are all family.
Yes, for sure. We consider each and every one of you family. So
Lisa's rants, that's fine.
we were talking about the ugliness. And I'll let you finish your point. Did you want to finish your point about
I kind of
Andrew's
got sidetracked.
email?
Oh, well, anyways, Humanity Forward, it's a great thing. If you have the ability to donate, which I know most of us don't, donate to Humanity Forward because he is directly helping people and helping them fast. Much faster than the government. And
Put money into people's hands already.
Did y'all see, I know we're talking about putting money in hands, and I've just totally popped in my head.
Put the money in our hands.
What was it? Comedy Central. The Daily Show.
If y'all have not checked out that Daily Show segment with Andrew Yang the other day, oh my gosh, it is hilarious.
You should be able to find it on Zach and Matt Show, as some of y'all are familiar with. As long as it didn't get taken down, that's where it'll be. It's very funny, and if you did see it, I like I don't know, maybe I should wait to see if y'all all seen it.
Back to the ugliness though.
Back to ugly. We're going
Back
from
to ugly.
pretty to ugly.
Andrew Yang put out an article the other day in the New York Times. It's an opinion piece. And it broke my heart when I read it.
Me too.
And this is, I have to disagree with Andrew here. Andrew called on Asian Americans to step up in this time of crisis, to prove how American they are. No, I absolutely 100,000% disagree with you, Andrew. I love you. But if you are an American citizen, you do not have to prove your worth. Your worth is because you are an American citizen. Plain and simple. Because you're here, you have value.
Well, everywhere has value, but yeah, I know what you're saying. Like, if you're here in America,
You ain't got to prove that you're super American.
yeah, no, I agree with
Just
you.
because you're a different ethnicity. Bullshit. We are all in this together. Come on, Andrew. I got to disagree with you, bro.
And my thoughts on that, I understand what he's trying to say, and he's usually very good with words.
He did not articulate that very well.
No, because what he tries to do is he tries not to put blame on any people, any group of people. He never tries to put blame on anyone, never tries to make anyone feel bad. And I lost my train of thought, dang it. I hate when I do that. But he also doesn't, I think his thinking is that we shouldn't, no matter who we are, we shouldn't play that, the victim card, I guess. But it's not that, because, I think that's how his thought process is going. I don't know. I'm not Andrew. And I kind of feel like Andrew is like part of our family. I don't know. I feel like I just know him so well. And when I was reading that article, yeah, it made me like really sad that someone would even look at him like that. If I was there, I feel like I would run up to them and punch them in the face and be like, don't look at my friend like that. That's what it made me feel like. I was like, that's so rude. Like, you can look at it, you can't just look at people any type of way. You can't talk to people any type of way. You need to, I don't know. Everybody should respect each other. And I don't know what race the people that were looking at him, I don't know if they're white, Hispanic, African American. I don't know what they were, and he didn't specify for a reason. But either way, it just shows a people problem. People should, I don't find it so hard to not be racist. I feel like it should be common sense to not be a racist. And because a virus started over in China, now you're all of a sudden like, oh, all these Asian Americans that live here, they're pure evil or whatever's going through their mind. I can't even fathom. But
I mean,
the fact that Andrew said to be the model American citizen, you know, like show how American you are, do some American things. That part I also did not agree with. Sorry, Andrew, the one time I don't agree with you on something, because it's not your fault that somebody else is a racist. And you shouldn't have to prove your Americanness to a racist so they won't be racist towards you. But I kind of get where you were going with it, but that's all I got to say on that.
Yeah. Oh gosh, Bill Withers passing away today. Ain't no sunshine when he's gone. Yo, man, that news sucked because I'm a huge Bill Withers fan, and that he passed away, man, it breaks my heart. Oh my gosh, that the world lost the talent today.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I wouldn't be surprised if the mainstream media had put due to the coronavirus next to it.
I know, because if you've seen, excuse me, sorry, I just did that on a live stream.
Did you just burp?
No, I didn't.
She went. Oh my gosh. Okay, go
I
ahead.
had something to say.
See, I mean, I don't understand. Okay, well, then I'm going on to the next topic. Tiger King.
Coronavirus.
Tiger King update. Tiger King update.
Y'all watching Tiger King?
I love Tiger King.
I haven't gotten into it yet because I'm still in Altered Carbon.
First of all, I gotta say something about Pete Buttigieg. Repeat. Pete Buttigieg, during his campaign, said that he was the first openly gay man to run for president. Well, guess what? We found out that was a fucking lie because Joe Exotic did it first. Joe Exotic beat you to the punch, Pete Buttigieg. How does that make you feel that you got beat by Joe Exotic?
Wait, did he run as a Democrat?
He ran. I thought he said the first openly gay man to run for president.
I thought he said to run for president as a Democrat.
No, I'm pretty sure. Correct.
Someone find that for us.
Fact check that one.
Can you fact check that? Did Pete Buttigieg say he was the very first gay man to run for president?
Pretty sure that's what he said.
Or to run
I
for
thought he
president
said
as
the
a
first
Democrat?
openly gay man to run for president.
Openly.
Yeah.
But president as Democrat or just president? Did he cut it off
I
there?
think he said president. But anyway.
I don't know. Anyway.
You got beat by Joe Exotic. Shout out to the Tiger King.
Does anybody watch this show? Raise your hand if you watch this.
Everybody watches this show. What are you talking about? I'm going to rewatch the show because I love it. He is like the Joe Dirt of like zookeepers. He is great. He's got the mullet and everything. And Joe Exotic is currently in isolation right now in prison because there was a coronavirus outbreak in the prison facility that he was in. As some of y'all know, spoiler alert, he's serving 22 years.
Spoiler alert, how dare you?
And most people already know because they finished the 7-part. I was so sad to see it finished. But anyway, so they transferred him to another facility and he has to be in isolation for a while until they can put him in Gen Pop. You know, and if anybody has ever been to lockup, they do this a lot. This is very much standard operating procedures. It's probably, you know, I want to talk about the ravages in the prison system for a second.
Oh, man.
I cannot imagine being in prison right now. It's scary enough. I know because I've been there. And the conditions that you're already living in are extremely filthy. And the fact that this virus just sticks on stuff. Like
Sticks like glue.
who's going to take care of these people, the prisoners who have coronavirus? Because I'm telling you right now, the medical system in prison, it sucks. It's bullshit. It takes you at least a week to even be seen most of the time. And then they just prescribe you a 600 milligram ibuprofen. I mean, there's no actual care. And just to think that there are so many people in prison who are in prison for some bullshit. Now, there are people in prison who deserve to be in prison. Don't get me wrong. I know, because I live with them. But there's a lot of people in prison who shouldn't be in prison, who are in on some bullshit. They can't see family. They can't see friends. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that would be.
You remember when we were not able to see each other?
Mm-hmm.
How hard that was on us. And now that's for everybody.
Yeah, including the people in the nursing homes, including people that are dying of coronavirus in the hospitals. And I know that's not as long term as, say, prison, but like, I feel bad for those people that, I mean, I know saying goodbye, it's for the living, obviously, but still not being able to, knowing someone is about to leave this earth and not being able to
be with them in their last moments.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
They all have to do it alone. Well, I wouldn't say alone. The nurses are there. The doctors are there. You know, to make sure that no one has to leave alone.
Now, why you gotta do this? I think you're intentionally trying to make
sorry.
me cry.
Let's move on to the COVID news.
That is COVID news.
It is COVID news, but I mean, like the numbers, the stats.
All right, the numbers. Here we go. Mama's good at the numbers.
Over 1,030,000 people infected worldwide now.
That's a lot of people.
It has killed more than 54,000 worldwide. In the United States now, we are up to almost 250,000 cases in the U.S.
And that sounds, when you look at the grand scheme of things, like a relatively small number.
It's actually probably close to twice that, if not more. Because they're
And
not
growing.
testing everyone.
Number one, they're not testing everybody.
There also was a study that there's it's in Iceland study, because they had enough tests, they're just testing everybody, right? And that it showed out that half the people that tested positive had no symptoms at all. Half of them. That's crazy. That means there's people just running around.
That's called asymptomatic.
Spreading it. Yeah, asymptomatic. So if you're running around, shopping at the store, going to visit your friends, going to have birthday parties and get-togethers, stop it. Just stop. Because you could be asymptomatic and be spreading it, and then someone like grandma gets it and dies. And it'll be your fault because you're not staying home. Please, just stay home. It shouldn't be that hard. I don't know.
That's
I know
tough.
it sucks, but just stay home.
Ultimately, it's the COVID virus that would be killing the person, but
Right, yes, I know.
but you must take some sort of responsibility
Right.
for that, because you have the opportunity right now to do the right thing and stay away from people, use social distancing, wear a face mask outside,
Make one if you have to.
sanitize.
Sanitize. Just try not to leave your house as much as you possibly can. And if you do, take the necessary precautions not to either infect anybody else in case you're asymptomatic, but also not to get it yourself.
And this is why it's so important to maintain good mental health throughout this time, because it's almost like everybody's in prison right now, if that makes sense. Because
But a lot more luxurious.
A
and
lot
you have
more
the
luxurious,
internet,
for
and
sure.
You have
Yeah. You know what I mean, though. It's like
Being isolated.
we're being told that we can't do things. Our freedoms have basically been,
not necessarily.
It's like
That's why people aren't listening.
well,
It's a suggestion, and people are not listening.
Yes.
We need to take it a step further.
but do you? Because if you do, then you're talking about like instituting martial law. You're talking about willingly saying, yes, institute martial law on me. And like the freedom loving side of me is like, fuck that. You want to tell me that I've got to be? No.
Here's the thing.
This
We're
is
staying home
America.
regardless, but there's a bunch of stupid people out there that are not listening.
Right, but we're talking
Force them
about,
to
hold on.
listen.
But we're talking about martial law.
Okay, well, let's give it another name. Strict lockdown.
That's lipstick on a pig.
Enforced lockdown. If you leave your house, you are getting smacked across the head with a flashlight. I don't know, something. There has to be something to make people stay.
You do realize that in the Philippines, that the government said if they catch you outside, they are shooting you.
There you go. I know it's a little extreme, but what do you want to do about stupid people? Anyway, I'm going to continue with the numbers because you're giving me really ugly faces right now.
I don't know, because right
There
now I'm
have
thinking like
been-
natural selection. Maybe we should just like, because you telling me I've got to basically live under martial law until this thing is over. Number one, it's not going to be over for a while. I don't know. Ain't no way.
Either way, we're the smart ones and we're staying here and we're taking the precautions. But not everyone's as smart as we are. So there's been over 6,000 deaths in the U.S. And Fauci called for a federal stay-at-home order. I don't know if that's in place at all, but I know some states still don't have stay-at-home orders. And Dr. Fauci was like, why are there
Tennessee?
states that don't have stay-at-home orders? Florida just now finally did it. All the deaths they have down there.
What is wrong with you, Tennessee? If you are in Tennessee, call your damn whoever's over everything and raise some hell. Because, you know, I kind of feel like the dumb people are still going to be dumb. You know what I'm saying? And they're still going to go out and they're still going to do what they do. And I feel like eventually this whole thing will maybe run its course. And
It's
natural
gonna- it's
selection
just
will
gonna
help
take-
weed out dumb people, but it's going to weed out a lot of innocent people too.
Exactly. A lot of people that don't, yeah, it just makes me mad.
But that's why it's so important for you to do the right thing and protect yourself and stay at home as best you can. You know, if you got to go out for food, that's fine. Do that. Medicine, whatever. But you got to stay safe and you got to be smart about it. So, exciting news for the Grassroots Yang Gang channel. I will be interviewing
Dun, dun, dun.
dun, dun, dun. Today, it will be Blair Reynolds, who's running for Congress. And very, very soon, I will be interviewing Adam Kokesh. If you are familiar with Adam Kokesh, he's been freedom fighting for a long time. He's running as a libertarian for president. Obviously, none of these candidates will ever win. Yeah.
It's just.
And it kind of
set
sucks
up.
because you wonder like, well, is it better than what we have in there now? I wish we could get some of these libertarian people, like, if we could take some of those libertarian people running for president, like Vermin Supreme and now Zoltan, who has just switched to the Libertarian Party.
It's Zoltan.
Zoltan, it's Von.
Zoltan. But, see, someone like Zoltan or someone like Kokesh or whatever, they could run as, say, Democrat or Republican, whichever one they choose, because you have to be one of those two or you're not getting elected. But someone like Vermin Supreme, no, he needs to stick with his whole satire thing because
But see,
it's really
well,
just.
no, I'm thinking more along the lines of we actually go to Washington and like we remove Nancy Pelosi and we plug in.
How are we
Vermin
going to do
Supreme,
that from 6 feet away, though?
And then we remove like some of these other schmucks.
Oh my god.
We'll take Moscow Mitch from the other side, and we'll replace him with Adam Kokesh.
Okay.
And we just like position these people in all these spots. We'll take Trump out and we'll plug in Andrew.
It sounds great. Let's do
It
that.
sounds really, really good.
Can we do
I
we do that
wish
with
we
some-
could do that.
Can we do it with robots? Like send out our robots to do it so we don't have to be around people and we can use that automation?
Look, we were just reading how like,
Just 12,000 new cases just today. What were we just reading? Go
and it's
ahead.
only 2:14
Yeah.
Eastern time.
Whew.
I don't know what I was saying now. Thanks
We
for
were
interrupting me.
we were reading something earlier. What were we reading earlier?
About what?
I don't know. You're the one who's saying it. About something about vermin or automation or
Oh, automation. You know, like how this is just going to hasten automation. These dumb, sickly humans, why do we need them in our factories with their germs? They're nothing but germ carriers.
germ factories.
Let's
on a
eliminate
factory.
the whole need for these filthy humans and like let's use robots all the time for everything. It's coming. There's no doubt about it. And this pandemic is evidence that it's only going to accelerate the process of automation and robotics. Because think about this for a moment, right? The lifeblood of this country right now are truckers, right? They're the blood that's flowing through the veins. They're the ones getting the supplies to everybody. Now, what happens when truckers get sick? Our brother-in-law is a trucker, and he was just sick, and we were worried he had coronavirus, but thank God he didn't.
What, bud?
My character,
So,
I'm leaving the baby game.
Oh, okay.
Little Yang Gang needed attention. Live stream. We're all at home together. Thumbs this video up. Anyway, our truck driver brother, he just got sick, and he had to be out of work. Now, what happens when truck drivers start getting the coronavirus and they can't be at work anymore?
And they can't be taking the goods from point A to point B.
These companies are looking and they're like, oh, we got robot truckers waiting in the wings. Like, why are we?
And plus, the winter's over, so you don't have to worry about the snow thing where you have to beam
snow.
into the truck and, like Andrew talks about.
Speaking
Speaking of Andrew,
yeah.
let's get him elected in November, no matter what. He doesn't have to be running. He doesn't even have to unsuspend as an independent like Ronnie wants. President Yang! I love that. Let's all vote for Andrew Yang because we see now with this disaster we're going through how much more he's needed, and we talk to people, everyone. I don't know how.
Man.
How are we going to do it? How are we going to talk to people being stuck at home besides like this? How are all of us going to get in touch with more people outside of our bubble?
Well, you've got to be able to share videos from channels like ours to those family members and to those friends, and you have to.
So maybe we need to make some videos,
right?
Like promoting Andrew Yang for president 2020. Some more videos.
Well, I kind of feel like, we as the Yang Gang, we kind of have to 10x. Myself and Arturo Watts, Shaving with Tully. We're talking about this yesterday. Y'all make sure that you look for that interview out there on his channel, coming in the next couple days. And we were talking about that very thing. We have to 10x the Yang Gang. Okay, now this pandemic that's happening right now, I feel like it's going to overcome a lot of Yang Gang objections. For instance, one of the biggest objections that we always ran into was, well, how's it going to pay for it?
How are we going to pay for it? Isn't it going to cause inflation? Those two things. Now, Andrew answered those very well. But do you think when these people start getting this check and then they see that A, it doesn't cause inflation, and B, it's paid for, no one's asking now, well, how are you going to pay for that stimulus? How are you going to pay for it? What are you going to do?
Everybody wants that stimulus now.
Yep.
How you gonna pay
now
for it?
People see
How in the hell are these motherfuckers up there gonna pay for this shit that they just did now? And they're talking about part 4.
Yeah, which we need part 4, but the part 4 needs to be UBI for real.
But
UBI.
parts 1, 2, and 3 didn't accomplish what they were supposed to accomplish. Stupid ass people in Washington. All you want to do is line your own fucking pockets.
So Andrew Yang, yes. I just choked on my spit. That's a very unpleasant thing. And I can't cut this out because it's live. Andrew Yang. We could still get him elected. I believe it. Yang has that podcast coming out. Yang Speaks. And it's coming out soon. I think maybe it's coming out next month. So look for it. I don't know. It's going to be called Yang Speaks, and we're very excited. And I feel like when this podcast comes out, more and more people will get to see how much of a genius he is and how right he is and how right he was and still is. Yeah. And then that's what we were talking about, taking clips of those to make them shareable if it's too long, taking little pieces. Share this out, share this out, share this out. Maybe if we share it out with a message to vote for Yang in November, you don't have to vote for a Republican or a Democrat. We can vote Yang and fix the world.
I guess it. I'm usually the optimistic one. But now I have to be the voice of reason.
I don't want to hear it. Did you know the head of New York Funeral Directors Group says that funeral homes are running out of storage in New York? We're running out of storage. We're moving back to COVID because I never finished that thought. I don't want you to say that Yang can't win because Yang's gonna win. I'm back to it. I'm back on the Yang Gang train all the way to the White House on the white horse with the Yang Gang running behind. Go, woo, 6 feet apart. Yay.
But you know what? That makes for a hell of a long line of us. This line will stretch for miles.
I was looking for something, and I'm still looking for
But
something.
we gotta face reality.
The reality is, Yang can still win if we all get together and we make it happen because we're the Yang Gang.
In order
We
for
can
that
do
to
it.
happen, we have to literally unite the entire broke folk boat.
It's got to be united. Talk to the people that are getting the $1,200. Does
If-
it help you a little bit? Yes. How would you like to have that every month? Yes. Vote for Yang. Vote for Yang.
Sounds
for
so
Yang.
simple, doesn't it?
We'll have rallies, like live stream rallies, where we'll just all sit here and Skype each other and be going, woo! Yeah, what was that notification?
Nothing important.
Okay.
So we would have to unite the clans like Braveheart,
Okay, now we're going Braveheart.
which
Paint your
means that Andrew Yang would have to grab his fucking sword and scream freedom.
Yeah.
And
I
I
can
promise
see
you,
that.
I feel like we would all charge. If Andrew did that, I believe that the Yang Gang would rally.
But before then, we have to make the Yang Gang 10 times bigger.
We have
So
to.
get to work.
We have to. So how do you convince people? Well, we're planning on coming out with a series, a training series for y'all on effective ways of communicating with people and okay, yanging people. We want you to be able to yang everybody that you talk to.
Mm-hmm.
And if there's one thing that the Grassroots Yang Gang family is good at doing, and that's yanging people.
Thank you, Kristen.
We've been.
Yang Gang never suspended. Thanks for everything you do. Thank you.
Thank you, Kristen. We appreciate that super chat very, very much.
Sorry I interrupted you.
It's cool. It's cool. we always shout out our super chats. We try to talk to everybody as we can, and we try to mention comments and stuff all along. You know, sometimes we get into our talks, and it's up to us to talk. But we appreciate each and every one of you out there right now that's watching this. So we have been yanging people for a long time.
It's been our thing for a year now.
Our yang tree is huge. It's got
Like
some.
here's us. You can see us. We're like the
Our branches. Just,
yeah. And then the branches are the people that like say this branch is my sister or something. This is
We
my
spread
sister right
Andrew
here.
Yang's faster
My
than the coronavirus
sister
spread.
has branch here and here and here of the 7 people that she's yanged. Then we have this other person we've yanged. Like we've probably yanged hundreds of people who have in turn yanged hundreds of more each. If they're, you know, maybe not quite that much, but the tree is like it's big.
Okay, we can stop with the tree and patting ourselves on the back now about how big our yang tree is.
I'm just saying, it's really a lot. And if everybody would just try to grow their tree
Grow your yang tree.
as much
That's
as
very
possible.
important. But you got to be able to know what to say. Because people are going to come at you with all kinds of dumb shit.
Mm-hmm.
And how do you overcome those objections?
Like this.
Smack!
That is the improper way to smack.
So, we were planning on putting out a series of videos on that exact thing. How do we yang people? What are you doing?
I'm sorry. Okay.
It's a live stream.
Keep talking. Keep talking.
So, anyway, yanging people has become an art form for us. And we want to pass on how we do it to you. And we think that it would help you guys all grow your yang tree. Why do I feel like I'm about to get slapped with a glove?
I was gonna say, you know how I went like this a second ago and I was like, whoosh, right? That
Yeah.
is not the proper way to slap someone during the coronavirus. That's how you smack someone during the coronavirus.
And then you disinfect your arms in case some of their slobber got on you.
I don't know why. I'm just
Try to keep all bodily fluids away from each other at this point in time, if you can.
So
So,
since we're living together and we have the 3 of us, you know, all living in the same house, we can stay close to each other. We don't have to stay
just the 3 of us.
We don't have to stay 6 feet apart because it'd be impossible if one of us was to get sick to not infect.
Besides,
Unless you're a snake.
I could never. I can.
You can never not annoy me.
I'm the type of person I like to aggravate a little bit. So anyway, we're gonna wrap this up, Yang Gang.
Wait,
we are opening up for the last couple minutes.
Yeah.
Jeez.
We got 11 minutes. I just like how you say we're gonna wrap this up, and then everybody leaves because they're like, "Oh, they're done. Bye." We're not done. The best is yet to come.
Because if any of y'all ever watch Andrew Yang's stump speeches, what did he always end with? Q&A time.
Almost spit coffee on you.
Oh my gosh.
Got hot in here. Too much excitement.
But leave on all your clothes.
Obviously.
So, question and answer time. We'll open it up for y'all.
AMA, go.
Eh,
First question
show
gets
your
up.
viewers your dad dance. You got it, Corey.
How did you meet?
How did we
would
meet?
like to know how we met. Who should tell this story? The one that remembers it best?
Or the one who embellishes it best?
Okay, go. I'll correct as we go along. Go.
Okay, so I don't know. I was friends with her sister on Facebook.
Yes, you were. Yes, you were friends with my sister on Facebook. I thought you were going with you were friends with my brother's ex-girlfriend. You're friends with her dad. Is that too much? Okay, yeah.
No, that was the first time that I ever saw her. The first time I ever saw her, I saw her when I was working at an Italian restaurant, and I was
the chef of the
the
restaurant.
chef there, and she came by with his daughter's friend, the owner's daughter's friend, right? Gina?
Yeah, I was friends with the owner's daughter.
Yes, and that's when I first saw her. But
And
then
I said, "Psh, why
she
you still
checked
be
out
looking
my
at
she
me?"
checked out my profile on Facebook.
I didn't find you. I did not try to find you after I saw you. That's not how that
She's
works.
like, "Why you friends with my sister? Why ain't you friends with me?"
It's not how that works.
She saw that I love the notebook in my profile.
Why was I trolling his profile? I don't actually know. I don't know.
That's
I
weird.
just was. That is weird. Now that I think back on it, I feel like a stalker right now. Weird.
So our first date was at the Mexican restaurant, and
Yeah.
both of our favorite places to eat.
Mexican food. Oh my gosh,
And
so good.
we will remember it always. There you have it. That's our story.
Yep.
There you go. We're not getting into any further details than that.
That's all you get. That's
She
how
tried to seduce me with Super Mario and Mexican food. It worked.
So that's basically how we met.
There you go.
Did anybody else ask a question? I wasn't
Nope.
paying attention. We're too busy telling.
When are you going to start the series on yanging, folks? Well, we are actually trying to work on production of that currently as we speak. No, right currently.
Not right this very second, but yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
We should have the first couple videos out very, very soon. Gosh, we got so many videos to put out.
I know.
Keeping up is just ridiculous. Between the Broke Folk Vote podcast, I mean, we're trying to stay busy.
And yes, we're writing in Yang. To the person that asked earlier, we are writing in Yang.
Who's writing in Yang?
I'm writing in Yang.
She's writing in Yang.
In November, if they even have the... Did you see they pushed off the Democratic convention thing where all the delegates get together and choose the nominee? They pushed that to a
Yes.
later date.
They pushed it to right a week before the Republican convention.
Okay.
Oddly enough.
It's still... I don't see how it can happen. They're going to have to figure out a way to do like remote delegate votes or whatever. I don't know. Because it's still not going to happen at that time. I'm telling y'all. I can see the future sometimes.
Why are you so pessimistic?
I'm not. I'm optimistic. Yang will win.
All right. Final words.
Next question.
There was no other questions.
We still have 6 minutes, and we are not leaving the Yang Gang for 6 more minutes.
Can you let me talk for a minute?
Will you stop hitting me with the snake cord thing? I'm very fidgety right now. It's probably all the coffee because let me go ahead and tell y'all real quick. I know you're about to talk, but this just popped in my head. You know how I ran out of creamer, right? And you know how Russell went to the store yesterday, right? Well, he got me some creamer, right? But for 4 days, I had to drink black coffee, and it was utterly disgusting. Okay? I tried to drink it, and I can only drink like 1 cup a day. And this is somebody that's used to drinking about a pot a day, so like 5 or 6 cups a day. And I was really struggling. Headaches. I was exhausted. I felt like crap. And so today, I drank like 4 cups of coffee so far, and I'm feeling like this is the way life should be. I do love my coffee.
We're gonna put that to good use because we're gonna clean the house after this.
Oh, it's just about clean. It looks great. I did like 500 dishes yesterday, and we don't even have that many dishes. Like, who's bringing dishes over to my house? Whoops.
She is literally like slinging stuff across the room right now.
Oh, I don't know what that was. Was that a dance? I like your dancing.
Yeah. Remember, it was called whacking.
Oh my gosh, y'all remember that? There's a dance called whacking. It's so funny to watch. How does it go?
I don't know.
Or is it more like...
Johnny Depp! Quit it!
Don't even bring him up. We are not allowed to talk about him ever again.
We're not allowed to talk to him? So, when was the last time you talked to Johnny Depp?
Well, you see how it happened. How that happened was yesterday we were FaceTiming, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and he was dressed up as a pirate. Can you believe it? And that's the end of the story.
But we all know that he's not a pirate because he...
Don't even. No, we were talking, and he said,
Question came in.
he was...
Do you miss the South?
Yes!
No.
Yes!
No.
Yes!
No.
It's much warmer. Can you believe that we're just now getting up to 50 degrees today? For the past few days, it's been in the 30s, and it snowed.
50 degrees
Is
is
it not the
probably about the
spring?
right temperature.
I like 80-degree weather.
50 to 60 degrees is, I mean, you start getting into like 65 and 70, and it's just, it's hot. I can't stand the heat, man.
North Carolina. We are from, sorry I interrupted you.
North Cat?
Monroe, which is not far from Charlotte.
Yeah, we were right outside of Charlotte.
Bye, Serpent. You're probably already gone.
I did not, I don't know. I've spent my entire life trying to leave the South. So I'm happy to be where I am.
I like that heat too.
And as I will be running for office here in Vermont, we're staying. But we will go back to visit because all of our family is in Vermont. And
winter just lasts so damn long, and it snows, and there's snow everywhere. You can't go anywhere because you got to spend an hour scraping your car off, and then you got to scrape your driveway, and then the roads are bad, and you're like, ah! People are crashing everywhere. Snowmen running across the road. Like, what?
There's still no moose.
The moose are mythical creatures that
There
sometimes
ain't no
fly
moose up
from
here.
the sky and land on top of your car. I don't know.
I don't know, I guess. Because I haven't seen a moose since I've been here.
I haven't either, but that's because it's too cold to even leave the house. Like, stupid. I'm glad I get to, like, spend time with my sister and get to know my sister again. Corey! But now I don't get to see her because even though she's right down the road, strict stay-at-home orders for the peoples. I can't go see her. I can't. It's too risky.
It is. It is too risky.
I miss you, Corey.
Have we met people since we've been here? It was really weird because if y'all don't know this story, the first day that we were here, the very first day that we were here, we went to Taco
Bell?
It was a Taco Bell / KFC.
Mm-hmm.
A random town in Vermont. We go inside, we eat, we're leaving, and somebody stops us and asks us if we were the couple from North Carolina.
I think he was just in the chat, too.
He was just in the chat. His name is, he goes by Reptoid from the Planet Pop Toy. And he recognized us in the middle of Vermont the very first day that we were here. It was so incredible for us because it let us know that our message was going to the entire country. It's going to the entire world, actually. You know,
Yeah.
we've been featured in Asian newspapers. We've been featured on Asian television.
Mhm.
I mean, you know, and it's incredible to see.
Now we got to take the next step.
What's the next step?
We got to do something even more extravagant than move across
What's
the
that?
country and quit our jobs and start a YouTube channel.
What?
We got to start 5 YouTube channels. No, I don't know. What is the next step? How do we step it up so much that it's just so extravagant that it brings more attention to Yang? We got to do something for real.
Build
a helicopter.
I'm gonna go the Joe Exotic. I'm gonna go the Joe Exotic route. And I'm gonna be like you. Welcome to Russell Erotic Kitty Cat Farm. And I don't know, because we're quarantined, we can't get tigers right now.
Don't ever do that
again. Russell Erotic Kitty Cat Camp. I don't know. But we are always evolving our game. As you saw at one time, we put out, we tried to put out some comedy piece.
Yeah, we want to do a lot of different things because we like a lot of different things. Our main focus has been Andrew Yang and the Yang Gang, and we love that because it's the most important thing we can do, but we have a lot of different interests and talents, and we want to share them with the world. All 35 of you. And everybody else. I don't know.
You do realize that there's been more than 35 people
yes,
here, right?
there was more people than just y'all. But y'all are the ones watching right this minute. So y'all are awesome. Yay, somebody we met in Portland. I miss Portland.
Shay Huckleberry.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. How are you? We're glad to see y'all, man. Oh, speaking of Portland, Blair Reynolds, who I will be interviewing today, is actually running for Portland.
Really?
Yes.
Cool.
So, y'all make sure you tune into that. It will be out probably tomorrow. We'll record it tonight, put it out tomorrow. Yang Gang, we love you.
I guess we better get out of here.
We hope to see you on the next one.
Do this again.
Please like, share, subscribe, thumb it up. Thank you for the super chat.
And thank you to our 76 patrons. I know
Thank you.
We've had some had to leave because of probably financial reasons.
And listen,
we understand.
and we've gotten messages, and you don't have to explain to us. We understand that times are hard, and they're hard for everybody. And if you can afford to support creators on Patreon, please do so.
Yep.
We love you, Yang Gang. Thank you for all the support. We'll see you on the next one.